Yo, what's up guys and welcome into the brand new Phasmophobia update called Eventide. Finally a new major update with new content is here, and in this video we're gonna go over all the patch notes. Please keep in mind I have early access to this update. The update is gonna hit for everyone tomorrow around midday Central European time. But let's not waste any more time and let's dig into those patch notes. Alright, let's go to the first one, which is obviously the new map Point Hope, which is a lighthouse map. Point Hope was recently refurbished by a young family seeking something unique to call home. You'll be welcomed with a modern extension complete with a hallway, closets and a downstairs bathroom before entering into the lighthouse main living room. Decorated with nautical knickknacks, you'll be faced with spiral staircases and round rooms, a first for ghost hunters. This new location features 10 floors, 12 rooms, holy, and a unique layout which will challenge players in new ways. You'll have to use different techniques for some of those pesky ghost abilities while playing on lower evidence game modes. And this map apparently only unlocks at level 15. And there's only one screenshot to this where you can just see the outside of the lighthouse. We only saw the inside all the time. But yeah, it looks very enticing. I can't wait to check out the entire map of this. As far as I can see, there's not like a house next to the tower. It's just the tower of the lighthouse that is there, right? Usually, sometimes you see like lighthouses with like little houses next to it. But apparently this is only the tower as I can see. So yeah, it's going to be exciting gameplay for sure if there's only like one staircase all the way up. Several progression and equipment items have been adjusted based on community feedback. That is cool. Player leveling and rewards. The required XP to level from 1 to 100 has been reduced by around 10%, making leveling faster. Okay, I mean, that is, I don't know, I don't know if that is even needed, to be honest. There's people that actually got to level 20 within like 2 weeks or so, but to each their own, right? Players can now level up to 9,999 for each prestige. Okay, I mean, who's gonna do that anyways? The required experience needed to level up between 999 and 9,999 will increase every level. Yeah, that's. I hope they're gonna do that. What are the people doing that are level 20 already? I don't know. Sunny Meadows Restricted is now categorized as a medium location. Okay, that makes sense. I always thought it's a bit bigger than like a normal house, but yeah, whatever. Increased rewards for correctly identifying the ghost in medium and large locations. Medium from 125 to 150 and large from 150 to 200. So we get more money. That's good. That's always good, right? Tier 1's light range has been increased. Thank you so much for that. Tier 1 dots were actually horrible. Tier 3 scanning effect can now be paused by interacting with it while it's rotating. Thank you so much for that. I requested that many times, so that's awesome. EMF. Tier 1's needle will no longer flicker near or past the value 5 during ghost events and hunts to stop confusion with the evidence. Makes sense, yeah. I never got really confused by the tier 1, but it kind of makes sense. For people that are new. Tier 3's EMF 5 reading now plays a unique sound. Yeah, that's awesome. Firelight. Increase the visible light intensity range of both tier 1 and Tier 2, thank you so much. Hey, I just in the last weekly I complained about that. Tier 1 and Tier 2 lights, or they're just garbage, you know. So better lights, totally welcome. Tier 1 duration increased from 3 minutes to 5 minutes. Yes, Tier 2 duration from 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you. They were so useless. But hopefully this makes it more useful, to be honest. Firelights and igniters will now be extinguished accurately in heavy rain. Makes sense. For example, they will no longer be extinguished under house porches and inside small tents. All right, awesome. Headgear, a customizable key binding has been added to the controls page for turning on and off a headgear. Nice. Turning headgear 1 on and off will now play different sounds to help which state is in the equipment, which state the equipment is in. Makes sense. While within range of a ghost event or hunting ghosts, tier 3 will now have a visual interference. All tiers will now play a new sound. Awesome. If you didn't know, the headgear also attracts obviously the ghosts, right? So if you have like a little indication for that, that totally helps, just like the flashlights as well. Tier 1's red light will now flicker when a sound is detected. Makes sense? It's good. Tier 2 and 3 sound indicator visuals will now last slightly longer than the sound to improve legibility with short sounds. Alright. Tier 3 can now receive sounds one floor above or below the player using it, with new UI to show which floor the sound is coming from. That's awesome. That's amazing. You now have to hold parabolic microphones to turn them on or off. Okay. You cannot turn them on the floor anymore? I don't know. Because I actually really like that to turn them on. Whatever, right? What do I know? Thermometer. Holding down the use button while holding a thermometer 2 or 3 will now continuously update. Yes, instead of having to restart after each reading. Yes, exactly. That's good. Thermometer was bad. Tier 1 now has randomization to make it consistent with the other tiers. They nerfed the tier 1. Oh no. Tier 3 hold time has been reduced to 3 seconds from 2.5. Okay, that's good. That's a buff. Tier 3 randomization has been reduced to make it more accurate. Cool. So yeah, tier 1 thermo is not that OP anymore, it seems. I hope that actually equals it a little bit. Tripods and video cameras. Ghosts will now throw video cameras more consistently. That's good. Tripod 1 knockdown chance has been increased from 20 to 30, and the 2 has been increased from 20 and the 2 has been increased from 10 to 20. Awesome. Sanity medication tier 1 restoration time has decreased to 20 seconds from 30 seconds. Awesome. Tier 2 restoration time has been decreased to 10 seconds from 20 seconds. Awesome. Tier 3 will now instantly refill your sprint endurance in addition to keeping it full for 10 seconds. Awesome. I'm not sure about the sanity medication being that much faster, but you know, it's a little buff. I take it. Mute buttons for sound sensors have been added to each sound sensor's truck UI. Awesome, that's good. I mean, does it make them better? I guess no. I guess no. Who actually is using sound sensors? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know. Spirit box. Small environment lights such as lamps must now also be turned off to receive a response. Okay, that might kind of make sense, right? That you need to turn off all the lights, not just like the main ones, like the one from the building, but also like lamps on the nightstand or so. Makes sense, actually. I really like that. You now must hold the spirit box to use it with text-based voice recognition. That kind of makes it more useless, I guess, because they cannot just lay on the ground and then activate while you're talking to it. So it's kind of a nerf, I guess. I don't know why they did that, but whatever. UV lights tier 1 and 2 have been swapped for better progression. So during the leveling, okay, that makes sense. I mean, technically, yeah, the tier 1 UV light was definitely better than the tier 2. I would actually also argue that it's even better than the tier 3, to be honest. Even though tier 3 is pretty good, but like having a light all the time on is just so much more OP. You can just drop it at a door, and it just lights the door up while you're doing other things, and you don't need to pick another item and shine at it, right? I mean, you can place it down the tier 3, but I don't know. Tier 1 still seems OP to me. Optimizations. We've drastically improved the performance of several areas of the game, which will result in fewer stutters, higher FPS and quicker loading times, especially on low-end machines. The number of fixes and optimizations would be too many to list, but the following have received the biggest adjustments. I really like that because I had so many issues. Hopefully they're resolved now. Like especially when it was raining on certain maps, I had like 2 FPS, 0.5 FPS even. It was horrible. But then it suddenly got better for some reason. Photo and video cameras, shadows, the weather and sky effects, UI, physics, audio, reflections, textures and shaders, blah, 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 everything, right? Hopefully it's just gonna run better, I guess. Training, lower the temperature of training to make the freezing temperature section much faster to progress. Reduce the amount of equipment to 1 in each room. Okay, I mean, these changes, I don't think anybody cares, right? Especially maybe someone that is starting out new, but I mean, whatever. Training, yeah, sure. New ID card badges can now be unlocked. Lighthouse Keeper, correctly identify the ghost on Point Hope 50 times. And Apocalypse Bros, correctly identify ghosts. Take a ghost for okay. You get the bros. You get a new ID card for Apocalypse Bros, silver and gold, as it seems, and 50 times for the new map. Right? That's it. I always like more stuff. You know, it's good. Players can now carry an igniter in addition to 3 other items. Wait, dude, did I just read that correctly? Wait. That is. Non-VR players, note, non-VR players can only carry 1 igniter at a time, similar to flashlights. Igniters now have their own slot. Wait, but do I read that correctly that we also get, like, we can actually get igniters now? They have their own slot? Please, that is huge. That is huge. I like that. Because usually, like, the VR players always had, like, 1 more slot where they could drop in stuff, which is kind of okay because VR is a bit clunky and stuff, right? But this is amazing. If we get 1 more slot, amazing. If only if it's just like the igniter, it's fine. It's great. It's awesome to have. Unlocking a new reward that is tied to leveling up will now show a pop-up on the mission summary screen. Okay, ghost writing books now play new sounds when closed. All right. Added Kate and Catherine to possible ghost first names. Okay. Why would you mention that? Are those people that started working with you guys? I don't know who Kate. Let me know who Kate and Catherine is, or if you actually know, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know. Ghosts can now leave single fingerprints on all small lamps and TV remotes. Yes! Awesome. More stuff that they can touch. I like it. I really like that. That's awesome. Changes. Equipment. You can no longer swap inventory slots while taking a photo. Okay, makes sense. Removed flashlights from hide and seek extreme as they were disabled from settings. Okay, makes sense. Deja Vu weekly has now UV tier 1 and tier 2 to keep it a flashlight. Glow in the dark weekly now is tier 2 instead of tier 1 to keep it a glow stick. Makes sense, yeah. Asking the Ouija board bone location questions will now drain 20% sanity, down from 50. Okay, I mean, that makes sense, right? It's like a heart. It's really punishing to get 50 for that, to be honest. Due to bone rewards not being included in the reward multiplier. Yeah, that makes sense. So it was nerfed, so there's no reason to get 50 of it. Lighting the summoning circle candle will now instantly end the setup phase. Okay, that's all. That makes sense. I control better. I never play with setup phase anyways. Doesn't matter. Ghosts. Non-ghost riding ghosts now close the book after throwing it. Okay, so that makes it really easy to indicate if it's actually writing or not then, right? I guess. Ghosts can no longer interact with already knocked down paintings. So why can you not? That would be cool though, right? Why is that not a thing in the game? Throw them paintings across the room, no matter how many times. Please do implement that. Shades can no longer blow out fire sources or write in ghost books if there were any players in the room to keep their strengths consistent. So you cannot really be around anymore with shades to gather evidence. That is something. I mean, it makes sense, right? It should also be with the ghost events, kind of, though, right? I feel that the ghost events are still showing up, even though, I mean, then it is super obvious. You will never see a shade ever again. There will be no ghost events. You will only see them during the hunts. That's it. It kind of makes sense though, right? Why ghost events? Shades are shy. Improve the ghost's ability to interact with closed doors. Okay. Improved Banshee AI targeting when they stalk a player. Why only Banshee? Okay. I wish to see the ghost will now limit your vision after the ghost event. After the ghost event instead of before. Okay. That makes sense, right? Because I want to see the ghost, not see the ghost, to allow you to see the ghost. Makes sense. Increase the sanity drain on one of the ghost events to match other events. You could also just list how much it is here. That would be amazing, right? So we don't have to ask. Environment. Paranormal Paparazzi and Hide and Seek weekly challenges now take place in Point Hope. Oh, let's go. Drastically improve the sunrise visuals. Nice. Turning on several light switches in a room, but not all, will now drain sanity at a reduced rate instead of full sanity drain speed. Wait, what does that mean exactly? I mean, does that mean you also have to turn on the lights like on a nightstand or so to actually prevent it? I have no idea. So you need to turn on all the lights in the room, possible light sources, to actually remove the sanity drain. I don't know. I guess we need to test that, but this is a bit vague. I'm not gonna lie. Props that don't move when hit with another prop will no longer play an additional impact sound. Okay, so all the ghosts don't sound like poltergeists anymore, I guess. Adjusted all weather distant fog color for better blending with the horizon. Okay. Removed Point Hope teasers from all maps and lobby, makes sense. Optimized assets across all maps. Lowered resolution for light cookies. Cookies. Moved the green bowl in Ledgefield living room to help with the lamp interaction with the new fingerprints. Okay. The Tanglewood utility room can now be closed correctly by the ghost. Nice. Medium tent windows now have correct collision on both sides. Yes. They should work more on the tents, to be honest. Tents are kind of meh. I don't like them, right? Especially if the ghost interacts. Especially with some ghosts. I don't know why the U-Rays ability was never... I hope they're gonna adjust some abilities of the ghosts as well in this update. Because some ghosts just don't work anymore with no evidence, like the Jinn, for example, when the breaker is broken, or the Uri's ability on a campsite map. Kind of makes no sense. Whatever. Adjusted audio effects to help identify if sounds are above or below you. Okay. Sounds that are one floor above are bass boosted and muffled. Sounds that are one floor below will be more muffled and quiet. Okay, sounds that are 2 floors above you will have more extreme effects and volume reduction. Okay, so that is cool for people that probably have some issues hearing. I feel like I never had an issue with that, but I think that makes it more clear. The heartbeat sound will no longer be altered by reverb or other audio effects. Okay, so the heartbeat sounds will sound different. Audio levels for the ambient room, tone and Ouija boards have been remastered to bring them in line with other sounds. Okay, reduce the volume for the writing sound for the Ghostwriting Book 3. Why? That's a nerf. UI difficulty, money and prestige level up have received new images. Improved color accuracy of several UI components, increased the width of the scroll bars in the shop to make it easier for VR players. Several ID card titles have been changed, renamed and shortened. Changed interaction amount to activity level in custom settings to better reflect what it does. All right. Gotcha. All right, let's go over the fixes over here. Man, these patch notes are huge. Fixes. Player movement will no longer be affected by held equipment. That is actually huge, right? So finally, they said they had to change the player models to overcome that, so that you don't like collide with stuff anymore, like tripods or the Smudge tier 3 if you're holding them and crouching, you were like deterred in another direction. You were like on rails, you couldn't really move properly anymore, and it was really hard to actually escape, because usually if you're in a dark environment, you crouch down to see the floor better, right? If you don't have a flashlight or something, and then you need to get away, and if you have like one of those items, it's just death. So this is amazing that they fixed this. Unfortunately, we cannot probably not kill people anymore with tripods, but hey, whatever, you know, we're gonna find other ways. Alright, stamina recovery will correctly now start even if you are still holding down the sprint button but not moving. Makes sense. There's no longer a visual glitch when rapidly equipping and unequipping the headgear as one of the player models. You can now change your sprint mode while in a game in VR. Fixed several areas where VR teleport movement could not teleport to. Changing your sprint mode to hold from toggle on PC while sprint is toggled on will no longer keep you sprinting without pressing the sprint button. Makes sense. Removed sprinting FOV increase due to graphical issue. Alright, that's a bug fix. Hanging paintings thrown by the ghosts will no longer fall through the floor. Why not? That is amazing. Throw them through the floor, through the roof, whatever. It's a ghost. The ghosts and bone can no longer get stuck in several locations. Okay. They said that in like so many, whatever. They said that in so many updates. I'm starting to believe. Urei can now use their ability on doors that are open at the start of the game. Okay. Demon and Banshee attempting to use their ability but failing will no longer add to the ability's use stat. Okay. That's good. Ghosts will no longer keep throwing the same objects over and over and will instead choose more varied items within its interaction range. Hopefully they actually fixed the poltergeist that stopped throwing things, right? Hopefully this is not making it worse, because there was an issue with the poltergeist where it just stopped. Like when it threw an item, it didn't throw it the next hunt because it already threw it. Unless you interacted with that item again. I hope they fixed that, right? I hope they fixed that because it was really annoying. Hide and Seek Extreme is now correctly has 3 evidence instead of only 2. Yeah, I said that in the last one as well, and I got confused. I actually went with 3 evidences, but I still figured out the ghost, whatever. Ghost event player detection will no longer include dead players if they didn't move after dying. Oh, okay. That's funny. Equipment, motion sensor 2 and 3 detection sounds can now be heard on all floors. Awesome. Parabolic microphone 2 now displays the correct values. No. You can no longer get readings on the parabolic microphone when in the truck. Makes sense. Dots 1 and UV lights. UV light 2's light will no longer stop emitting when placed in some areas. Changing the sound sensor size in the truck now only changes the area effect UI instead of the equipment UI. Again, sound sensors. I don't know, man. EMF reader 1 will now point the needle closer to EMF's value instead of including the EMF's values above and below it. Okay, makes it more accurate. You can no longer take multiple photos of the same EMF interaction. By using your inventory, refresh the items. Makes sense, right? That was a bit cheesy for sure. Headgear 2 will no longer be detected by the ghost when on if flashlights are disabled in custom settings. Makes sense, it's kind of silly, right? So if you turn it on, but you don't see it turned on, but the ghost will detect it. That is messed up for sure. An active parabolic microphone will no longer muffle your audio when picked up while holding another item. That is cool, even though I still say it. Parabolic microphones, I kind of hate the muffling. I'm not a huge fan of it. I wish there was like a way how you could have like, maybe make it realistic, right? Have it like, make it an option that you can actually only hear the parabolic sounds on one ear and the other sounds, the environment sounds on the other ear while taking your headphones off. That would be cool, right? That would be realistic, so you don't miss like stuff going on outside That is something I really hate about the parabolic microphone, but I mean, whatever. Let me know in the comments if you actually hate this as well. I would love to know. All sound sensors, tiers, and firelights tier 2 are now more stable when placed in VR. Alright. You can no longer light people's incense by physically moving a source of light into it. Yeah, I don't trust you guys. This has been... Right, this is like a real problem in this game, but I don't think they fixed it. I'm gonna believe in them that they fixed it now, hopefully. That is huge troll, you know. VR players can now consistently place a video camera on the tripod that is still attached to the truck wall. The Ouija board will no longer break when saying goodbye with 0 sanity. Awesome. Crucifix tier 3 will now be used for all players after it prevents a cursed stunt. I actually didn't know that was an issue, but that's awesome. Extinguished matches will no longer light other objects. Okay. You no longer need to swap hands between each tarot card draw in VR. Grabbing, swapping props in equipment in VR will no longer set the wrong hand position and rotation. Igniters can no longer be used if a player fully used up the fuel. Okay, makes sense. Tripod 3 placement highlight is now visible when first placed. UI for text recognition will no longer get stuck in when another player grabs the Ouija board while you're using it, and all motion sensor map icons are now accurately sized on all maps. Okay. Environment. The player and ghost will now correctly be detected when moving between different rooms and floors. This will make evidence gathering much more consistent. That's awesome. We actually need to see how this actually goes in the game, right? Sunny Meadows reverb sound effects will no longer turn off while moving around in certain rooms. Maple Lodge cabin window fingerprints will be visible again. Awesome. Removed several locations where the ghost could get out of bounds in Sunny Meadows. Removed a spot where the ghost could get stuck behind a generator in Camp Woodwind. Okay. The camping chair next to the lover's bench on Woodwind is no longer white. All overhead tarps on Maple Campsite now have rain sounds. Okay. Reduced visibility of geometry seems where the ghost can see the skybox in Sunny Meadows. Okay. Keys collected will now have the correct name in the journal. Window rain will no longer make things black when viewed from a certain angles. You can no longer place equipment in the gap under the cabin. Was that even a thing? I didn't even know. Lights will no longer turn on if you turn them off during a flicker. Yeah, that's been an issue for a while, I guess. Added skybox blockers to multiple areas to stop tiny gaps in geometry that show in the sky. Tanglewood, Edgefield, Ridgefield, and Willow have been changed. Sound impact sounds will no longer play multiple times at once. Loop sounds on doors will no longer play in VR while they are not moving. And the UI skipping the animation when you level up more once will no longer skip the previous levels unlock pop-ups. Challenge maps names will now be correct. You can no longer complete the ghost photo objective when there's no space for photos in the journal. Alright, that's probably huge for some people. Known issues. Diogen pathing can be inconsistent during hunts on Point Hope. Small items can occasionally fall through the walls and floors on Point Hope. That's going to be fun. Interactions can sometimes repeat multiple times. MSAA will cause visual artifacts while dead. So there we go. We probably have a kind of a bugged... we probably have kind of bugged hunts on Point Hope. So these hopefully will get fixed very soon. But yeah, this was pretty much the entire patch notes. It was a really... Those are really long patch notes, man, like crazy long. But yeah, there's not much more content in this one here. I hope there was more content. It just seems like it's more like bug fixing and adjustments. Obviously, the new map is huge. I really like this. But I really hope after all these bug fixes, we're going to go at a faster pace with new content. because this game really needs more content, not just adjustment, to keep the player base happy. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below how you like this update so far, and or what you would change with it. I would love to know, right? The devs would also love to know, so always give feedback on those videos. I know the devs are watching all the comments and whatnot, right? So do it, right? Drop it in there. I will be, by the way, live pretty much all day with this update today. So yeah, join me for that as well on Twitch. Psychohypnotic is the name. Link is in the description down below if you want to join me. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Oh, all these patrons. Thank you so much, guys, for your support. Mwah. Big schmouts.